Hey guys, how you doing? Ray here again. If you want to subscribe, it's Nitro Kyosho. What I do is like to put out a bunch of help videos for Nitro cars and helicopters, RC helicopters. Today I'm going to talk about a beginner's guide to choosing the right RC vehicle that's going to be for you when you're first starting out. There's a big variety. You have buggies, you have truggies, you have monster trucks, you have on-road vehicles. They even have rock crawling trucks now. First thing we'll start discussing is nitro vehicles and electric vehicles. Okay, this is a nitro 1/8 scale buggy. Okay, and basically for beginners I recommend starting out with electric vehicles. They're a lot easier. Okay, when you're in the hobby shops and you're searching around, one of the first things you have to determine, and they'll be asking you, is do you want to go with a nitro vehicle or electric? There's a company out there called Traxxas that makes a lot of great beginning electric vehicles. Basically, okay, the difference is going to be age. You know, the age that your son or your daughter, or whoever wants to get into it is at. Nitro vehicles, if you have somebody that's a friend and that's into it and that can help you, and you want a nitro vehicle, then by all means go for it. I like nitro vehicles better. I think they're more fun because they have an engine and exhaust, and they sound like a real vehicle. Okay, so basically the first decision that you have to come to is whether you want an electric vehicle, okay, or a nitromethane. Okay, electrics are much quieter, much cleaner. You don't have fuel spraying all over them. Okay, with electric vehicles, one other thing before we go any further, there's two types of basically packages out there. Okay, there's what's called RTR, which means it's ready to run, and a kit, which means you have to build it from scratch. Okay, Traxxas makes a lot of ready to run electric vehicles like the Slash, like the Stampede. Okay, before we go any further than that, I'm going to throw out some reputable companies to you that I like, that have been around a long time. Kyosho, okay, they go back into the 60s. Traxxas, been around 20 years. Team Losi's been around since the 80s, and Team Associated goes back into the, I believe, late 60s to early 70s. Okay, with the nitro vehicle, there's a lot more to it. Okay, these type of vehicles start three different fashions. You can get them with pull starts, you can get them with drill starts. There's a backing plate in the back of the motor and it starts with a drill, or you can get them with what's called a bump box start, which means the vehicle will sit on top of a box. It has a rubber wheel that comes up through, will engage with your flywheel when you press it down on the box, and you start the vehicle that way. There's a lot more to know with these, as far as you have to break the motor in, and there's more maintaining. With an electric ready-to-run vehicle, you basically take it out of the box. With the Traxxas vehicles, you basically install your antenna. The body's already painted for you. The tires are on, glued on. Everything is ready to go. You basically charge the battery, and you're out and having fun. Both types of vehicles can get pretty fast, as far as your speed, if you're depending how fast you'd like to go. The electric vehicles, you can upgrade them with brushless motors, LiPo batteries. They run off NiCad, NIMH, lithium's LiPos. You can get an electric vehicle by today's standards just as fast as a nitro vehicle. Okay, you have different scale sizes. This is a 1/8, which is about 19 inches. You have a monster truck, if you can see it back there. That's another thing that you basically would want to decide, is what kind of vehicle do you want. There's buggies, Okay, there's what's called a truggy, which is basically a buggy with big monster tires, and they truggy, half truck, half buggy. And you have 1/5 scale vehicles, which will run off like a weed whacker type motor. HPI makes those. Those run off regular gasoline with an oil mix. Those are about 33 inches long. You have 1/10 scale and 1/8. This is 1/8. 1/10 and 1/8 are about the most popular sizes. Let's see, what else can we talk about here? Okay, with these type of vehicles, nitro, you need obviously a glow igniter, you need a fuel bottle, and you need to buy fuel. The fuel can run you $36 a gallon. If you're using it once a week or a couple times a week, and a gallon of fuel will last you a long time, because they only have small gas tanks. It'll give you about 8 minutes worth of run time, and then you have to refill them. They're about 120 cc tanks. These vehicles come with a variety of different tires you can buy along with the trucks. And most of the vehicles all offer a full line of replacement in different styles and tread patterns. Like I said, with a ready to run, you basically don't have to worry. As far as an electric vehicle, everything comes glued, painted, and put together for you. With nitro vehicles, you do have to break in a motor. You just can't take it out of the box and start romping around the yard. Usually you'll break the motor in by putting it up on blocks and letting it idle through 3 tanks of gas while monitoring the temperature with a gauge you can buy to make sure that your temperature in your engine is not getting too hot. Usually idle them through 3 tanks, drive it leisurely, your 4th tank in the lawn, and then by the 5th tank you tune it and do what you want with it. They come with different kinds of, these have springs with oil inside of the shock bodies, oil-filled shocks. Most all vehicles by today's standards come with oil-filled adjustable shocks. If you buy, I don't recommend buying what's called a kit, because that is for an advanced person. That is something like, this was a kit. It came in 1 million pieces and 1 million bags. You had to cut the body out, you had to put all the stickers on, you had to paint it. You basically have to assemble every single thing, even gluing the tires on the rims. So basically, stick with what's called a ready to run, and more likely get yourself an electric vehicle by like the Traxxas company. I like these companies that I mentioned, the Kyosho, Traxxas, Team Losi, and Team Associated. They're very reputable companies with great customer service, and they've been around a long time. Along with the helicopters, there's a lot of junk pop-up companies coming out that'll make, you can't get parts for the car after a year. You got to chase parts all over the country. Most hobby shops will carry parts for Traxxas, Kyosho, Team Associated, Losi. Like I said, they've been around a long time. Let's see, what else can we talk about? Well, basically, that's what it comes down to, you know, as far as choosing. You also have on-road cars. Okay, those come obviously with different body styles and different tires, and those also come in either nitro, run off nitromethane fuel, or electric. You have your monster trucks. If you're in like a wooded area or like a muddy area, they're fun to beat around. They're about 4.5 inches off the ground, and you can clear a lot more stuff. Most of the buggies nowadays, if you're buying nitros, they're mostly all 4-wheel drive. There's still some 2-wheel drive buggies out there that are electric. All your monster nitro trucks are going to be all, those are all going to be basically 4-wheel drive. I don't think there's any 2-wheel drive ones. There's 2-wheel drive electric, okay, monster trucks that are still out there. But if you want to get into this hobby, my recommendations is going with like Traxxas vehicles. like a Stampede or a Slash for your first vehicle, if it's especially for a younger child. Like I said, they're quieter, so if you're limited to where you can drive it, you're not going to have neighbors screaming, because these cars are pretty loud. You'll get yourself like a Traxxas Stampede or a Slash. They're all put together, all painted. Just charge them up and you're off and running and having fun. And then down the road, if you want to get into these type of vehicles, you can get into them. That's basically all I have really to tell you. I don't know if I'll be putting out a second video doing this. I think I packed about as much info as I could into this video. I will be putting out a beginner's guide to nitro buggies, because there's a lot more to know about a nitro buggy. I'll be explaining a variety of different things on it, more in depth of how to start it, how they work, how to maintain them, and take care of the engine and break it in, and basically explaining clutches and brakes and how everything works. So keep an eye out for that. If you want to subscribe, it's Nitro Kyosho. And my name is Ray, and I hope that you got some helpful info out of this video, and I thank you for watching. Take care.